The leading force fighting Islamic State on the ground is the Kurds, who are being armed by the Americans. However, Washington's support for the Kurdish fighters irritates its long-term ally, Turkey. Maupin reports on how the US has tried to get round this problem.
Turkey was furious when it found out that the United States, their longtime ally and NATO partner, was going into Raqqa without them.
We do not need terrorist organizations like the PYD and YPG in the Raqqa operation. Let us work together to wipe out Daesh. America, the coalition, and Turkey can join hands and turn Raqqa into a graveyard for Daesh.
As the United States is aligned with two bitter enemies in Syria, the Turkish government and the Kurdish fighters, it's got a tricky bit of maneuvering to do. Secretary of Defense Mattis says that the United States will eventually take back the weapons it's now supplying to the Kurds after the defeat of ISIS. And this is turning into no small matter. At this point, the United States is shipping in heavy machine guns, mortars, other small arms, and even some armored vehicles. It's totaling over $100 million worth of war toys, a large portion of which are going to the Kurds. And when it's all finished, some 500 U.S. military personnel will have the task of collecting it all in an area that's almost the size of Pennsylvania. Maybe they'll knock on doors and say, "Hey, you know those weapons we lent you? Yeah, you're finished with them, right?" And who knows what answer they might get. The United States has promised to monitor the area and send out a monthly report that will include photographs. This sounds like a great idea, as the USA has already lost track of billions of dollars worth of weapons they sent to Iraq. And some of those weapons have ended up in the hands of terrorists there.
I think Mattis made that promise in his letter, which presumably was confidential, knowing very well that it probably would not be believed and very well would not be carried out. But he made it trying to placate the Turk. The U.S. is supplying the weapons for the U.S.'s own goals, which seems to be to break off a part of Syria to allow the U.S. to dominate a separate part of Syria. Basically, they want to take a bite out of Syria and in violation of Syrian sovereign integrity.
When a country is torn apart by civil war, with different factions vying for power as civilians flee in chaos, the Pentagon has a brilliant idea. Send in more weapons, just so long as they promise to give them back. Maupin, RT, New York.